Welcome back to Unseen and Unbroken, the podcast that dives deep into the issues affecting our communities. I'm Joe.
And I'm Paul. Today, Joe, we're tackling a really important and, frankly, a pretty uncomfortable question. Are schools failing Black special needs kids, or are they failing everyone?
Yeah, Paul, it's a question that, it pops up in headlines every year. Are U.S. schools truly serving Black children with disabilities? But when you dig a little deeper, the truth, it's broader than that.
It really is. I mean, schools across the country are failing millions of students, especially those who are most vulnerable due to race, disability, and zip code. It's not just one group, is it?
No, it's not. The result is, frankly, pretty tragic. Both rural white children and urban Black children with special needs are left behind, often for the exact same reason, a lack of resources and equity. And that, to me, is the big picture. It's systemic underfunding.
You got it. I mean, America's school funding model is just deeply unequal, right? Most public school money comes from local property taxes. So it means wealthier neighborhoods, which, often tend to be white and suburban, they get more per student.
Yeah, and conversely, urban Black and rural white communities often just get less. A 2022 EdBuild report actually found that predominantly non-white school districts receive $23 billion less per year than white districts, even when you adjust for poverty. It's staggering.
It is. And it's not just about, race here. It's also about geography. Rural schools, often serving mostly white students, they face huge teacher shortages, crumbling facilities, fewer mental health or special education services. It's a silent struggle for them.
Right, but then you have, Black children with disabilities in urban districts, and their problems are really compounded. We're talking about disproportionate discipline, where they're suspended and expelled at much higher rates, often for behaviors linked to their disability.
Yeah, and also this idea of over or under identification. Like some states, Black students are over identified for emotional disturbance or intellectual disability, but then they're under identified for things like autism or ADHD. It means they're getting inappropriate placements and just not the right support. And then lower expectations too, right? They're often placed in more restrictive settings, less instructional time, denied advanced classes. It's just a cycle.
It is. And when you look at both groups, the commonalities are really striking. Poverty, for one. Whether it's rural Appalachia or inner city Detroit, underfunded schools mean fewer specialists, outdated books, crowded classrooms. It's a lack of everything.
Absolutely. And then there's the isolation. Both groups report feeling invisible. Urban Black special needs kids because they're seen as problems to be managed, and rural white kids because their communities just lack resources or advocacy.
And limited parental power, too. Wealthier districts, they have parents with the time, money, and connections to really fight for services. But poor parents, rural or urban, they just have less leverage.
It really comes down to what many feel are broken promises, too. The federal government promised to pay 40% of special education costs when IDEA passed, but it's never paid more than 15%. That leaves states and these poor districts in a real bind.
So, is money the root? Yes and no. Money matters, absolutely. More funding means more individualized education, therapy, tech. But even when money is available, systemic racism, ableism, and low expectations can still mean Black special needs students are denied quality education.
It's true. Rural white kids and urban Black special needs kids are both failed by a system that rewards property wealth, ignores special education mandates, and just keeps resources so far from the students who need them most.
So the conclusion really is the U.S. education system is failing millions, but it's failing the most marginalized the hardest. Race and geography matter, disability matters, but in America, too often, poverty trumps them all.
The way forward, then, has to be equitable funding formulas that don't depend on local property taxes, enforcement of special education law no matter the district, targeted support for communities left behind, and a real reckoning with racism and ableism in education.
It's a big fight, Paul.
But if you're listening and you're living this reality, you are not alone. Urban or rural, black or white, parents and advocates everywhere are fighting the same fight for dignity, resources, and a real chance for every child.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on Unseen and Unbroken.
We'll see you next time.